So students, we start with practical number 5. Again a compulsory practical which you will have to perform at the time of exams. Right? So let us study, or let us do a comparative study of two soil samples with respect to its texture, and we are also going to find out the pH of that soil. So the requirements that we need is, we will need balance, electronic compact scale balance. We will need filter papers, right? So these are the filter papers that we are going to require. Then we will need soil samples, as it is evident, or you can see clearly that there are two soil samples. You can easily identify the soil samples with the difference in colors. Then we are going to need measuring cylinders. At the time of exams, you might be given small measuring cylinders. So to demonstrate, we have some big measuring cylinders here, 250 ml cylinders over here. Then I have beakers full of water, each beaker having some 200 ml of water, that is plain water. Then I am having stirrers which will be required to uniquely wet the soil. Then we will need tripod stands, funnels, and two beakers to collect the filtrate. So children, as we start the practical, first thing that we have to do is, we have to measure the soil sample. We will take 50 grams of each of the soil samples. For that we are going to use our electronic compact scale. I'll just put it on. So till it reads 0.0, then I will put a tissue paper on it. I will measure the weight of the tissue paper. It comes to 0.6 grams. And now I am going to add the first sample. I need 50 grams. Okay, it is 50 grams. So I have the first soil sample measured in 50 grams. I will measure the second soil sample at the same time and put another tissue. It weighs nearly 0.8, and I am going to add the second soil sample. At the time of exam, children, you will be given only 10 gram of soil sample. So you will have to vary accordingly. You have to use the same method, same technique, but in a small scale. So I have measured the second soil sample. I have the second soil sample ready. So children, we have previously measured sample here, sample 1 of soil and sample 2 of soil. You can see that there is a difference in color. One appears to be black soil and the second appears to be yellowish, whitish yellow color soil. Right? So because you have to write the color of the soil in your observation table. So what I will do is, I am going to add this 50 grams of soil into the first measuring cylinder. At the time of exam, you will get only 10 grams. So you will be given some smaller measuring cylinders, right? And you will have only 20 grams of water added to it. But because I have added here 50 grams, I will add, first let us add the soil to the measuring cylinders. This is my second measuring cylinder. I will add the second sample of soil in it. So I have the samples of soil here inside the measuring cylinder, and now I am going to add some 200 milliliters of water. So while adding the water, I will also keep the sample shaking so that the soil completely dissolves in water. So I'll also see that I make the soil upside down. So I'll add the remaining water. So I have tried to add the water on the brim so that all the particles of the soil may settle down. The quantity becomes 200 ml, if you can see. So I can still, at the end I will again mix the sample properly and then allow it to stand still. Same thing I will do with the second sample here. I am going to add 200 ml of water here. So I have added enough water. I am going to see to it that I mix the sample properly. First, so children, we are going to wait till the time this particular layers of soil or particles of soil settle down. Then we have to fill the observation table according to the levels of the soil that we have. We will have to do a little bit of calculation in this particular practical. After the water settles down, we are going to see this texture. As you can already see, the soil is settling down, revealing different layers of the soil here. Right, you can already see the layers of the soil being formed here. We will have to wait for some more time till the entire layers get settled down properly. So you can see the layers of soil formed. Do not move. As you can see the layers of the soil here also. And now we are going to calculate after the settling of the particles of soil down, we will get layers of the soil. So children, you can see that this is the settling of soil. If there is 80 to 100% sand, some 10% silt and 10% clay, then we consider the soil as sandy soil. We will see whether the soils that we have is sandy or not in a short while. Let us see the second soil. If there is 10 to 30% of clay, 30 to 50% of silt, that is the second layer of soil, right? And the third layer which settles down having larger particles is 25 to 50%, which is sand. If the quantity of those layers is in that format, then the soil is loam soil. We can label it as loam soil. And the third soil that we are going to see is clayey soil where the amount of clay is more as compared to the silt and sand. Silt and sand appears to be 45%, but the clay appears to be 50 to 100%. Such soil can be labeled as clay soil. So children, we will start filling our observation table. In this observation table, there is sample number 1, samples of soil 1, and this is sample 2 of soil 2. So sample 1 and sample 2. First, let us write the color of sample 1. The color of the soil of sample 1 appears to be yellow, or it is yellowish. So I will write yellowish there, whereas the second sample of soil appears to be blackish. You can write that it is black in color, right? We have yet to find this out, and when the layers will be settled down properly, we will fill up this table. And for filling up this table, we are going to need a formula, that is percentage of layer, which is x is equals to width of the layer, that is x, and total width of all the layers into 100. So how are we going to calculate? We are going to see the width of one of the layer, right? The soil will show various layers. You have to find out the width of first layer and then total width of all the layers multiplied by 100. When we will do it, we will see how to calculate it. So children, this is our first soil sample, and we can see that the layers here are 50. The readings show 50. So the total layers, if you see the layers, width of the layer, it is 50 centimeter, or it is 50 milliliter, right? Now let us see the layers, or the soil sample shows two distinct layers. You can see a layer from year to year, which is nearly 25%, and another 25% is from there to there. So by writing an observation table, we will first consider this first layer as silt layer, and let us do an observation table. So if you look at the observation table, so in the observation table, you have to take the percentage of the layer which we saw, which we will have to take out, width of the layer, right? The width of the layer. Okay, so this is the second sample, and we can see three distinct layers. We can see the first layer from year to year, the second layer can be seen from year to year, and the third layer is present nearly from year to year. And we are going to see that the width of this total layer, the width of this layer in total is 50, right? And we'll find out the width of clay, the width of silt, and the width of sand. The observation table, you have to take the percentage of the layer which we saw, which we will have to take out, width of the layer, right? The width of the layer, first layer we will consider clay, and total width of all layers. So for sample 1, the total width layer is 50 and the layer of clay is 25, multiplied by 100, 51s are 52s are 25 2s are 50%, and so I will write the clay particles here is 50%. 50% clay is present in the sample. Now let us see the silt layer. The silt is, the total width of all layers is 50. The silt layer is 25. So multiplied by 100, 51s are 50, 100, 52s are 100, 25 into 2 is another 50%. So it is, silt is also 50%, right? Let us see the layer of sand. We did not see a layer of sand. So out of the width of the total layers, there is no sand present. So I have wrote 4 there. Sorry, I have written 0 there. 51s are 50, 52s are 100. 0 multiplied by 2 is 0. And so I will write sand as 0, 0. So if there is equal amount of silt and clay, we call the soil as loam. Loam soil, or it is called as loamy soil. Now let us see the second sample. Table children, this is the observations or calculations for the second soil sample. The clay appears to be 10, the width of the layer is 10, and the total width of all the soil layers is 50 multiplied by 100. So 51s are 50, 2s are 100. So 10 multiplied by 2 is 20%. So I'll write here the clay is 20%. Let us talk about the second layer, that is silt. The layer or the width of the layer of silt is 10 and the total width of all the layers of the soil is 50 multiplied by 100. So 51s are 50, 2s are 100, 10 multiplied by 2 is 20. So the layer of silt is 20% again. Now let us talk about the third layer, that is the sand, and the width of the layer of the sand is 30 upon total width of all the layers, that is 50 multiplied by 100. So 51s are 52s are 100, 30 multiplied by 2 is 60%, and so I'll write here 60%. Now children, here we will conclude on the basis of the layer which is larger, right? So large amount of sand is present, whereas the silt and clay layer is 20%. So we will label this sand, or we will label this soil as sandy soil. So we can write loam soil and sandy soil. Okay children, the second part of the experiment of soil samples, we are going to find the pH of the soil sample. How do we do that? After the layers have been settled down, we are going to use the water that is present above the layers of the soil. We are going to get that water. Let us see how. You need funnels, you need a tripod stand, and you need a beaker which will collect the water. We will take a filter paper. You know how to fold the filter paper. You have to make a cone of that filter paper so that you can put it in the funnel. So I have a funnel which is having a filter paper in it. I'll do the same thing for the another funnel. I need to collect the water as a filtrate, and I am going to test it for its pH. So what I am going to do is I am going to use the upper layer of the water here, a small amount of it, without disturbing the layers down. Enough just to get enough filtrate so that we can have the pH tested. I'll do with the same thing with the second sample. I have a filtrate of the first one here. I will take a small amount of it in a test tube. So children, I'll take the filtrate of the first soil sample. I'm going to use a test tube to get a small amount of it, and we are going to test the pH. Earlier you have already tested the pH for water samples. We are going to repeat the same procedure where we are going to use a pH indicator, a few drops of pH indicator, and you can see a color change. I will match it with my pH chart to see So if I go around, so it appears that there is a perfect match here, right? So the sample is, the pH of the sample, first sample is 7 and it appears to be neutral. So we will write it on the observation table that the pH of the sample 1 is 7 and the nature is neutral. Right? We will show you the observation table. We are filling it along with the experiment, or as and how we are performing it, we are also putting down the observations. So the first sample with pH 7, the nature is neutral. Now let us check out with the second sample here, and I will get the second filtrate in my hand. I will take a small amount of the filtrate in the test tube. I will add few drops of universal indicator. So after the indicator is added, I get a change in color here. I will again match it with my pH chart, and it again appears to be 7. So the sample matches with the pH 7. So the pH is 7 and the nature of the soil sample is neutral. So we have both the soil samples which are neutral, means both the soil are good for cultivation of crops, because if the soil is acidic, you cannot grow crops in it. If the soil is basic, you again cannot take crops in it. So you will have to neutralize the soil in order to take the crops. So acidic soil which will not give you a production of crops, basic soil will not give you a production of crop, but a neutral soil will help you to give a good production. So what do we do when we have a basic soil? We try to add humus to it to make it neutral, and if you have an acidic soil, you add calcium oxide, and that is how you neutralize your soil, and then the soil becomes conducive enough or good enough for sowing your seeds or your crop. So let's write the observation table. The sample, the soil sample 1, the pH was 7, and so the nature of soil is neutral, a good soil to take crop. And the sample 2 was having a pH of 7, which is again neutral, and which is a soil good enough to take crops.